Whoa, hold up, stop what you're doing, because the news just broke out of Pittsburgh and you're hearing it here first. I'm Jack Romano and I'm telling you straight up, this Steelers week is absolutely on fire. We've got an unexpected reinforcement on defense, a major shakeup on special teams, a big-bodied receiver who might be coming, though nothing's guaranteed, and on top of all that, we're hearing insane trade rumors for a superstar that could flip the whole script on the Steel City. The question is, are we seeing a definitive turning point or a dangerous gamble? Would you risk it on this play? But before we dive into all the bombs dropping in Pittsburgh, let me ask you for one quick thing. We're on a mission to hit our first major milestone of 1,000 subscribers here on the channel, and your help is essential. If you love this genuine talk about the Black and Gold Nation, subscribe now and help me strengthen this Steel Army. Check this out. I'm going to start with a signing that nobody saw coming but could really shake up the defensive rotation. The Steelers have signed defensive lineman Kenny Willix, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, and who also played in the UFL with the Michigan Panthers. This guy isn't a household name, but pay attention because he has a comeback story and production that could surprise you. For those who don't remember, Willix started as a walk-on at Michigan State, with no scholarship, grinding to prove he belonged. In 2018, he absolutely exploded. He led the Big Ten in tackles for loss, was named the conference's Defensive Lineman of the Year, a real motor that just never quit. That kind of gritty, no-quit style, what we call Pittsburgh toughness, always has a place on our defense, but his NFL start was full of roadblocks. Drafted way back in the 7th round in 2020, he didn't play his first year because he went straight to injured reserve. In 2021, he even earned a spot on the roster, played 6 games and got 2.5 sacks. But soon after, he fell victim to more injuries and was eventually waived. That's where the key difference comes in. In 2024, he went to the Michigan Panthers in the UFL and showed he still had gas in the tank. 4 sacks, over 30 tackles, consistent and full of grit. Of course, some people are saying, but it's a minor league, you can't compare it to the NFL. True. But sometimes that's exactly the spark a guy needs to reignite his career. And between you and me, the Steel Curtain has seen its share of doubted players who became key pieces when they got the right chance. On social media, fans have already started commenting and they're divided. Half think he could be that cheap find who sticks on the practice squad and fills a rotation spot, and the other half think he's just another camp body. The truth is, this is the cold analysis you'll only hear here. If Willix shows intensity and gap intelligence, he absolutely has a shot at a backup role, especially since our defensive line has been battling attrition. And there's another detail. Listen up. The coaching staff will give him some snaps in the preseason game against the Panthers, and if he produces well, he could punch his ticket to the final roster. So, this might be a small move on paper, but it has the potential for impact if he can seize the moment. And do you believe in this kind of long shot bet, or do you think it's just smoke? Hold on, because the next news is about special teams and it's already made a veteran fall off his chair. Hold on, because this move caught a lot of people by surprise, and I'll tell you, it hit the most observant fans right in the feels. The Steelers have signed veteran long snapper Jake McUade, that guy nobody talks about, but if he's not there, everything falls apart on special teams. That's right. The most forgotten position in football has grabbed the headlines in Pittsburgh because Christian Kuntz, our starter, might be out for a while. And you know how it is. Without a reliable long snapper, the chance of a botched punt or field goal goes up massively. And the last thing we want is to lose a game on an execution detail. Well, McUade arrives with a monster resume, nearly 200 NFL games, 2 Pro Bowl trips, and most importantly, 10 straight seasons with the Rams from 2011 to 2020 without a single flinch. The guy is durable, consistent, and respected. He also spent time with the Cowboys, Lions, Vikings, and Dolphins, but his prime was definitely in Los Angeles, where he became a league benchmark. The most curious part is he also started as a walk-on at Ohio State, only got a scholarship later, and went on to win 3 conference championships. See the similarity? Another story of a guy who grinds until he earns his spot. Fans are already divided in the forums, some celebrating because they say McUade brings immediate stability. Others are criticizing, saying his age is a factor, and we should be betting on someone younger. But I'll tell you this, when it comes to special teams, experience is golden. Nobody wants a rookie with shaky knees on a Monday night. This move also impacted the roster, as to make room the front office cut guys like Bryden Fehoko, Devin Harper and even wide receiver Rock Taylor, who had been getting attention in practice. This caused a stir, because a lot of people liked his potential. Exclusive for you who follow us here. This cut of Taylor might not be final. There's a real chance he could return via the practice squad if he isn't claimed by another team. But the message has been sent. Pittsburgh wants stability on special teams. There's no time for improvisation. With McUade, Danny Smith, our ST coach, gets that relief to work on his timing with the punter and kicker before the season opener against the Jets. And between us, real fans know, one bad snap can cost you the entire season. Now you tell me, would you trust a veteran with almost 200 games or would you risk it on youth? Because next up is hot news about a wide receiver that could completely change our offensive dynamic. You know what's happening that's got everyone buzzing? Gabe Davis's name is back in the mix big time for Pittsburgh, but it's not simple, my friend. The wide receiver who did damage for the Bills and had a brief stint with the Jaguars is undergoing a second battery of medical tests with the Steelers, but he already has a visit scheduled in Buffalo right after. So, the competition is open and fierce. Let's remember, Davis is only 26, was a fourth-round pick in 2020 and put up respectable numbers, over 2,700 yards and 27 touchdowns in 4 seasons with Josh Allen throwing him the ball. He had 3 straight years with 7 TDs, a consistency that stands out. The problem was a meniscus injury playing for the Jaguars, which ended his season early and raised concerns. The Steelers, who aren't stupid, wanted to check everything again with the medical department before moving forward with an offer. But here's the kicker. The Buffalo Bills have opened their doors for him to visit, and everyone knows the emotional connection is a factor. Going back to where you started, where you were productive, where you have chemistry, can be irresistible. In Pittsburgh, the scenario would be very attractive too. Imagine him playing side by side with DK Metcalf, opening space for Calvin Austin in the slot, and serving as a reliable target for Aaron Rodgers. Just thinking about it makes your mouth water, right? But if it turns into a bidding war, Buffalo might have the advantage, because Davis knows the system, knows the quarterback. He has that locker room trust already built. Here in the Terrible Towel Nation forums, fans are split. Half are begging the front office not to let him leave without a contract. Half are saying it's not worth the risk if the knee isn't 100%. And I'll give you an exclusive analysis. If Pittsburgh can close the deal before he leaves town, it could be the smartest addition of this offseason. But if he gets on a plane to Buffalo without anything signed, the chances drop way down. It's the kind of move that will define whether the offense will be explosive or average. And check out this curious fact. This might be the first time Rodgers would have a receiver in Pittsburgh with a size and physicality comparable to what he had in Green Bay in the Davante Adams era. So think about the impact. Now, if you think that's already hot, wait, because the next bomb is one of those that could blow up any bar table. They're speculating about a trade involving none other than Tyreek Hill. Man, this one is too heavy, and I'm warning you right now. It's one of those that divides the black and gold nation right down the middle. A trade prediction has surfaced that would put Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, in black and gold in exchange for Nick Herbig and some draft picks. That's right, Tyreek Hill in Pittsburgh. It sounds like a video game, it sounds crazy, but that's what the Bleacher Report crew put out, and it obviously dropped like a bomb in all the fan groups. Let's analyze this coldly. Hill is one of the most explosive receivers in the league. He changes any offense instantly. Defenses have to adapt just because of his threat on the field. Now imagine him lined up with DK Metcalf, Rodgers throwing, and Heinz Field roaring. It gives you goosebumps just to say it. But of course the price isn't cheap. Giving up Nick Herbig, who is proving to be one of our most efficient and promising pass rushers, is an extremely risky decision. You don't just hand over a young talent like that without a second thought. Especially in Pittsburgh, where the identity has always been a strong defense, the steel curtain, constant pressure. Some insiders say that with the arrival of Judon in Miami, the trade value has changed, and maybe Herbig isn't the ideal piece anymore. But the rumor was enough to make the fans go wild. Some people are dreaming of seeing Hill here running insane routes and burning secondaries, and some are saying it would be a strategic mistake that would destroy our defensive depth. Exclusive for you who follow here. Even if this trade doesn't happen, the mere fact that the Steelers' name appears on a list of possible destinations shows that the front office is paying attention to any opportunity for immediate impact. And I'll be honest, a real fan can smell it. We're at a moment where any move can either send the team to the Super Bowl or sink the whole project. That's the vibe, all or nothing, or. There's no lack of social proof. The entire fan base is talking about it, the forums are exploding, and even former players have given their opinions, some for, others against. And so I ask you, would you trade a young and cheap pass rusher for an elite veteran receiver who could flip the switch on the offense? Because listen up, after this insane speculation comes the conclusion that ties everything together and shows the true moment for our Steelers. Look, if there's one word that defines this moment for the Steelers, it's intensity. Low-key signings that could turn into gold, a veteran stepping into a crucial role, a fierce fight for a wide receiver, and even a crazy rumor involving a superstar. All of this together makes it clear. The team is making moves on all fronts. There's no rest. It's pure boldness. The Black and Gold Nation knows that every move right now could dictate the course of the season. And I want to know from you, which of these plays would you make without a second thought? This is the home of the Terrible Towel Nation, and the best is yet to come.